Hey everyone, it's Cesar from Farmers Insurance, Cesar Pineda Agency, and I'm here with Rafael Cornejo, aka Mr. Explorando con Hijos, Monica's husband for everybody that's been to her events. Yeah. This is the guy who also is in the background making it happen. So, welcome, Rafa, and
thank you. Hey, thank you for having me, and I'm glad that we're here today. Yeah. Specifically today.
And what's today, Rafa?
Today is Men's Health Month or Day?
Oh, I think it's both. I don't know.
I think it's
this
day.
Is the kind of guys we
I
are.
think it's day. Yeah, exactly.
With something.
But today is something about men. So
I know for a fact it is Men's International Day because I just saw it on Facebook. So
yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
That's what it is. All right, but it might be Men's Health Month as well, which you never know. But
I read that about.
So this is a dude's show. So welcome to the dude's show. Right, we're gonna make
a nice size too.
The dude show. We're gonna make it like super manly. We're gonna put like noises below with like really manly shit.
Hey, that's how we do.
But yeah, so why are we making this video, Rafa? Because we wanna.
You know what, Cesar? I think that we as guys, we always think that, oh yeah, we always gotta be strong. We always gotta be, that type of guy. But hey, listen, we humans, and at the end of the day, feelings are there, and it doesn't matter. You're a guy, you can be strong, you can be a provider, but you're still a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that us men, we don't really take the time to make men's like anything usually, or at least in my opinion. And that's okay too, right? We don't need to be coming up with like men's only events or men's only whatever. Like we're not that type of, like we don't need to seclude anybody to feel ourselves.
And men are really not that type of guys that they're, let's just guys night out.
Yeah,
it sounds weird.
Like, we're the girls.
Right? Well, like it's weird. If it happens, it happens. Hey, listen, right. Hey, a phone call an hour before. Hey, listen, you want to go watch a game? That's how we do. Like, watch a game. Yeah. What time? Oh, yeah, 8 o'clock. Where? Oh, this place. Let's go. We're not, let's make an event, and it's not that much about it, but but it's always good.
However, I have noticed that there's been more of it's been very relevant in news and politics and everything that men feel very kind of like secluded from society. So it's always good every once in a while to just kind of like talk about it and just talk about like what Rafa was saying. Like it's okay to not be, always the main main person or the main point of focus. But at the same time, if you need help, you can say it. Like it's okay, especially nowadays in 2024. I feel like a lot of the stigmas, which are to a certain extent are still there, some of the stigmas are not there anymore, right? So like appearances are not what they used to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. No, time changed a lot, and obviously our grandparents were completely different type of guys that we are, and we really care about, I guess, how we look sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to,
yeah.
Dress.
But even that, right?
Like exactly. Yeah.
I've worn horrible outfits.
I mean. But we do sometimes, we do sometimes. But sometimes it's nice as guys, try to, have some fashion, I guess.
Yeah,
right? Like,
no, it's totally fine.
And it's totally fine, I guess.
Some people do, some people don't, and that's fine, regardless, right? Exactly. If you want to take care of yourself, don't feel like, what will people say if I'm like taking care of myself too much? Who cares? Who cares, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're comfortable, be comfortable, and it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It really doesn't. But yeah, like as you were saying, times have changed, and men's are a little different now.
Yeah,
in a way, but we're still the mans. We're still the guys.
Hey, we're the mans. And by the way, the Man Show.
Yeah.
And look who's my man right here joining us for the Man Show. He's like, I'm into this one.
That's my guy.
But yeah, so going back to just a few general topics, right? And this is like easily found online. So this is not something we think about every day, guys. Honestly, like it's just a good thing to just get on tape every once in a while. Yeah. We're not experts. We're not claiming to be experts
at all.
It's just our opinions about, again, what it's like to be a man in 2024, why some people probably are feeling some type of way about being a man in 2024. And, what maybe some people who haven't considered how that happened might have a different perspective, right? So why don't we start with something we kind of touched on, Rafa? I'm curious about, you're Hispanic, I'm Hispanic. We grew up in a very different world.
Yes.
And there were certain stigmas that existed especially in the Hispanic world, that maybe they still apply today. Like we said, it was very different, but many things don't change. What are some of the stigmas that you feel like men deal with nowadays that maybe they've been dealing with forever, you know, as far as we know?
It's a tough question because you don't want to be like, bring the stuff back that you lived. For example, like I remember hearing, "Oh, men don't cry." You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, and that
absolutely.
was really one of the stuff that it was spoken back then. It doesn't, and as we started, like, there's feelings. Like, men's cry. We do cry, and we care about stuff, and I have a daughter, and like it's just sometimes thinking about her. I'm driving, and I can think about my daughter of what she did, and it's bringing joy to my life. And then I'm like, oh man, all of a sudden I feel, tears in my eyes. But I think it's that stigma of being, oh, you got to be strong all the time, and you can't cry or you can't have feelings. Yeah, that don't happen now in 2024. I don't think, Ali.
I mean, I would argue that a lot of people still have a hard time admitting that they even cry, right?
Oh,
Like,
of course.
and it's not even like, shout it out to the world, like, hey, I cry, everybody. Like, you don't, I don't feel the need to say that, but like, at the same time, it's like, I'll tell you a personal example. The 2014 World Cup was very special for me. I'm Colombian, and Colombia did amazing in the
Yeah,
2014 World Cup, right?
yeah.
And as a soccer fan, that meant a lot to me. And I saw this recap of the 2014 World Cup, and I started tearing, and I was like, "What the like why am I like I hate
Yeah.
this feeling, right?" And it's like you try to push it down, and you're like,
Listen,
and manly cry, you're like
yeah,
one
you
tear.
manly cry. That's
But it's
because
like the stuff that gets you sometimes is like, what the hell? Like, where did that come
yeah,
from?
because Monica will definitely tell you like, Rafa don't cry that much, and I don't. But like I manly cry, as you said
You
it.
manly
Like
cry.
one tear down, and half in the other eye, and that's it. That's me crying. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I mean, sometimes stuff
But
like
there's
that
a
will.
natural like, oh, what the hell? Like I need to push this down, right? And it's like something innocent. Like it's like I got emotional about seeing a recap about how nice my team did. My accent's coming out. But yeah, so like little things like that like you don't even know why you're doing that. Like I'm not the type of guy that's like, oh, I need to be like strong, whatever. But it's like a natural instinct to just push it down, right? And then when you think about it, like in the grand spec of things, when something does happen and you still have that like unconscious like reaction of like
Correct.
bottle it down, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Because yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you just don't want to like. This year was we had some news, and I was happy, and I wanted her to cry, but at the same time, I was
yeah.
like,
It's like you're not supposed
like I
to.
was so surprised, and I was so happy that like, and I remember my mother-in-law said, like, yeah, but you can cry,
It's okay.
like it's
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
and like she was so nice and made me feel like, yeah. And then once she said it, like I, didn't cry that much, but but
Well,
again, like I had let my feelings and taking over, and that's exactly what it is. Like sometimes you just gotta live, man, and let it happen.
yeah, and again, nobody's telling you have to. It's just do what comes natural to you without that natural shame that just I don't know why we have that ingrained. So going back to like again the Hispanic culture, yes, I know that the whole like don't cry is part of it, but also things like, oh, you're supposed to drink a lot. Like that's just like a
Oh,
manly thing. You're supposed to drink a lot.
you're right.
And if you don't
Yeah.
drink a lot, you're kind of a wuss, right? And so we have this desire to be like, no, I'm not a wuss. Like, look. And then that leads to, unfortunately, a lot of time, in our culture, alcoholism and other stuff. Um, I don't know if that's gotten better or worse. I don't know.
That I don't know. Personally, when I was back home, I'm from El Salvador, and when I was back home, yeah, no, I didn't drink, and all my family did, and my cousins and my dad. Um, but me myself, I was into sports, and I wasn't in. I was really into it, and I really wanted to be better and get better. Had coaches, and you know, they straight I told you, like, listen,
Yeah.
if you want to get to this point,
You can't
you
drink
can't drink,
because it
you can't
affects your
smoke.
body. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that was
Mm.
a high intensity athlete. So at that point, yeah, you just decide not to, But that was my
But
decision.
that's rare,
Exactly,
right?
but exactly because that was the point. Because at that moment, I went through that.
Yeah.
Like most of my cousins, or some of my cousins, they really respect that, and they were like, yeah, no. I mean, anybody wanted to offer me something, they were like, they jump and they were like, no, no, he doesn't do it. And all, you get those guys who were like, nah, man, just one, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And again, that didn't bother me, and I never did it. I never did it. Yes, I drink now, and like I'm an adult, and but I was, my friends and my cousins, they started drinking when they were like 15 because of the
Yeah.
same thing.
For the wrong
You know,
reasons, probably too.
yeah,
The hormones
exactly,
and
exactly, and they were
yeah.
like, yeah, no, just one. Nah, that was 23 when I started
Yeah. I
drinking.
actually started drinking later too.
Yeah.
Primarily because when I was a little kid, my parents gave me something called refajo, which is beer mixed with soda. And they didn't tell me that this was beer with soda, right? I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know, 10 or something. And I just immediately, and I had this hatred for beer, right? And
oh,
it took until like, damn, like 2018, 2019, when I went to a brewery. And I was like, this is amazing. And it's because it's at a brewery, so it's fresher and it's like
oh,
the
yeah,
flavors are
yeah, of
different.
course.
And then I fell in love with beer, right? But it took me a long time to, for example, start drinking beer.
Yeah,
But yeah, so again, like the drinking, just like everything we're talking about here, it's not like, oh, you can't drink either. Like that's not what
yeah,
we're saying. But
at
because I
all.
also drink, Rafa knows. But yeah, the reasons why men, I feel nowadays, end up drinking sometimes are for the wrong reasons, because they feel like I'm supposed to bottle all my emotions and I'm supposed to drink. And those are two ways that I see the present situation being a problem, that men, especially young men, are just kind of like lonelier than ever, and they're
And
going back
I
to
was
that.
just thinking about it. So loneliness can make you do
Yeah.
stuff that and then and especially when we're immigrants, we come here sometimes and we by ourselves. Like you encounter in a different country with a different language, all you do is work. So and then a lot of people, refugee and
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah,
You
because
know
and that's also how they meet people. That's also how they make connections.
Exactly, exactly.
So
But again, it's just the fact that being lonely can push somebody to that, and
yeah.
then once they start drinking and they go in at that level when it's really hard to stop,
Yeah.
and
And I
that's one
think
thing.
loneliness is the key word in this whole thing that I guess we're trying to address. Because, yeah, like for example, I see stories. I don't know if you're familiar with Reddit.com, right? And
Yeah,
there's Ask
yeah.
Reddits,
Hmm.
right? So, like, they just ask people, like, hey, what's your opinion? And so and so, right? And a lot of the ones related to, for example, dating, that's like sad. It's like really sad. I was also talking to Erica, our friend Erica from Bandia, the other day about how insane dating is nowadays. Because like seriously, like I feel like you have to fake it or they won't even look at you, and then that faking it is like already doing damage to the potential relationship, because then you're not really being yourself, and then it's all
Yeah,
zingers and it's all pickup lines, and it's like, do you really want to have that be the way that the person knows you? Like,
exactly. That is. I'm glad that I'm not in that situation of dating and stuff because I always been horrible. Always been horrible. Not in the fact that like I used to
yeah,
lie.
it's
It's just that,
uncomfortable.
and we were talking about it the other
Yeah,
day, right? Like for me, it's so hard to approach and to talk. I've always been. Even people probably thinks that like I'm an I can talk to anybody.
yeah,
I can't. When it comes to ladies, it's like I couldn't. I couldn't. All my friends, we were at the bar or with my cousins, and they were all good talking to girls. I just never could. But when I feel comfortable, obviously, yeah, and then it's different.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
Well, it's
like
also because you're not approaching women with that intention. So, like, of course,
exactly, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different type of interaction. But look, talking about, damn, this dude is homeless and he has a sign. What does he say? All right. Anyway, so it's tough for men out there. So second thing, I guess I wanted to, or actually no, before I skip, I had a thought about the Ask Credit. A lot of these guys, they just sound bitter. They sound really bitter.
Oh.
because it's like, oh, I did everything perfect and I did everything that I'm expected to do, and she didn't even give me a chance, right? Which, first of all, they don't have to give you a chance. If somebody's not interested in you, nobody's forced to. But that's creating a certain type of resentment that I've noticed. Part of why, Rafa and I were talking about stuff like this, and like we were like, yeah, this is an important issue. Is like, again, young men, they're so resentful, like for towards women, and like they feel. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the nice guy mentality, and I unfortunately I see that becoming much more normal with younger kids. It does worry me that is getting to be a problem, because a lot of kids don't have that like guidance, like, and I know that this has been in the news and this has been in like podcasts and stuff, but like they don't have anybody to look to, so they look to people who are telling them like, oh, you can't be a nice guy, like you have to treat them like
Oh, like the
crap.
nice guy never wins.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
And so they go back to the little experience they have, and then they're like, oh yeah, all women, like all they want is like to take advantage of us or whatever. That mentality can hurt a lot, because
Yeah.
ultimately it's a cycle, right? Like the more that mentality, the less you're gonna be able to get out of that loneliness, the more you get into that mentality. So it's a really toxic scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
So things like that, the ask credits, I think it's a sign of like, it's just too many lonely men in this world, and you know, I don't know what can be done. I don't even think we're talking to women right now. Like it's your responsibility to do anything about
Oh
it.
yeah, no,
But
it's
it's just tough. It's tough to see how much has changed. So my camera died, and we're in the middle of a great conversation. Unfortunately, we'll just have to redo that last bit. It wasn't the whole thing, but
things that
anyways,
happen. Things
we
that
were
happens.
we were talking about Rafa being an excellent parental figure for his daughter. He was telling us about the values that he's trying to instill in his daughter, so that when she grows up, she knows what's normal, what's not normal, how she
Correct.
should treat herself and treat others. And so that's a very admirable thing. So
Thank you,
Rafa,
thank you, thank you.
Father of the
Thank
Year.
you.
But yeah,
Not at all. Well,
so
working on it.
we were also talking about, again, the topic is men's mental health, loneliness in men's lives nowadays in 2024. Whether you're a young kid who just didn't have that kind of role model, or somebody who kind of showed you the ways, big brothers, cousins, whatever it is. Maybe they just have to teach themselves how to be men, and so they saw TV and they said, that's who I'm supposed to be. And so that involves sometimes some toxic behaviors, toxic masculinity, treating women badly, or in a certain way, thinking badly about women like they're against us or something like that, which is absurd. But yeah, we really wanted to hammer the point here, which is having other people around you, hopefully with good habits, is
Sort
great.
of.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun
No.
to let's go drinking. I'm the first one who's like, let's go drinking, because that's how you know somebody, right? When you let loose and you relax.
Yeah.
But the point that we were making, and I really want to go back to, is there's other stuff that we could do. Rafa and I, other than meeting through Monica and through Explorando Conejos, we found out that we have a lot in common. So, like, he used to be an athlete, and so he's really into sports. I was not an athlete.
That's one thing that we're not having covered. Yeah.
But I'm getting really into cycling, for example, and I'm a total like noob, and like I don't know. This last weekend I did like 22 miles, which I was like, holy crap, like
Nice.
never in my life. But it's like fun, right? And it's a good positive thing to do. And so like I'm telling Rafa, oh, let's go ride bikes, and like we're both into
And I
camera
want to,
gear,
yeah.
and we're trying to plan drone shots, and like trying to plan like camera, like certain shots or whatever. And there's so many opportunities for us men to be supportive with each other. We're not gonna have men's only event or talk about male power, because that could get bad real quick. But there definitely is room for us to be there for each other,
To be there for each other.
to find hobbies, and
like
and,
when you go biking and then,
yeah,
and I go and I send a clap thing, and, I don't have to, hey, Cesar,
Hey,
you
Rafa's
look
my
good, or,
cheerleader. Yeah.
No, but it's just, hey, listen, I'm seeing you, I support what you do.
That helps.
That helps. And believe it or not, that little thing, it helps, because why? Because you're not doing it for anybody else. You do it for yourself. Because as we were saying, like cycling, and I want to go because that, and because the cameras and stuff, but supporting each other and just being, oh yeah, Cesar, I see you, keep going.
And yeah, something else that we were saying with like hobbies and stuff, like it's very important for men to surround yourself with other people that can push you forward, right, in a positive way. And
Very
then
important.
just like again we were saying before, it's like you don't have to make a big deal out of it.
No.
Like just let's go watch a game, let's go
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I think it's important for people, young people and older people or whoever it is. There's no cap on it. People who have families, people who are single, people who like are dating, whatever, to just kind of like surround yourself with other people that will bring you joy by just being there, by giving you a little claps in Instagram or whatever it
Yeah.
might be. So that's very
Yeah.
important.
No, that's what it is all about. Don't, and as we were saying, don't let yourself be alone.
Mhm.
Don't put yourself in those shoes and put yourself in that situation. Find always somebody, and again, as we were saying before the camera died,
Damn.
that we're here. Like
Yeah.
we here. We speak Spanish. We speak Spanglish. We speak English,
Yeah.
and you know, um, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm pretty sure Cesar, whenever he
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
time, and I do too, and we're gonna leave all the informations, and you know, we here, it's cool to be invited. Oh yeah, let's go have a couple of drinks, which it
Yeah.
had happened.
Super cool, but
But at the same time,
there's
hey,
other stuff
listen,
too.
it's
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
stuff too. Exactly. Listen, we play hard, we party hard, whatever. I don't even remember how it
Yeah, I know.
used
We're
to
trying
say,
to think
but
of what we were
you know
talking
what I
about.
mean?
It's
Like
so good. It
I'm
was
not,
so good.
I know I'm not that young, but yeah, like it's very important to be surrounded by people that want to see you
Mm.
doing good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think that going the other way, completely talking about something different, is like I feel like for men we kind of are there for each other. Like we're not jealous in that type of like,
Yeah.
oh, you are doing well and I don't like that. It's like we're always like ready to support each other in
Yes,
that sense. So hey, at least we got that going for us.
that's
But
right.
yeah, what we're saying, loneliness can be an issue, and so don't let yourself, life happens and things sometimes make you lonely, but don't let that be a limitation on you and who you are, because you could always find people who are like-minded to just kind of hang out with and just feel like you're not alone, right? So
Hmm.
let's talk about explorando con hijos, because we were having a great conversation about what
Oh yes,
explorando con hijos meant for you. Again, just doing things with
yeah.
your
Like
daughter
as
and
we were saying, so what happened is that because remember, oh yeah, because we were touching the topic of I know we as guys we want to work and
yeah.
we just don't want to be working because we want to really be a that provider and have like sometimes these guys have the mentality, oh, I gotta give my kids what I didn't have,
Yeah.
right, and that make them work a lot harder and not be impressive, you know but at the same time, yes, I applaud you because you're a provider, but by Explorando con Hijos was born because me and Monica came from parents that like to go out, that like to be on vacations, maybe not even thinking about that they were implanting an experience in our brains and be happy and be like, I remember being at this place with my parents and stuff. And Explorando con Hijos was born, and we thought about it. Listen, uh, this is what we would like to do. And then Monica is managing the way that she is just doing so good, and she is good. She's a natural. She's so good at it, and what we really want to give is just show parents that they can have fun and that they can have places to go with their kids, so they can have that, so they can have that experience of giving an experience to their kids, so they can be there with them through the whole life.
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know,
what you were
so
saying also before is that the children sometimes remember that more than any like gift or
yes,
whatever
and a gift,
expensive thing.
of
Like,
course.
is the experience that you have growing up and being around the people you love. So like parents who overwork, thinking like, okay, the money is what's important, and then you forget to be with the children. Obviously, we've seen telenovelas plenty
Yeah,
that show you why that's not a great idea.
that's right.
But
That's right.
yeah, so as men in that environment, having a family or not having a family, that could also lead to you kind of putting yourself last, being like everybody comes first and then last is me and whatever
Correct.
scraps. So
Correct.
that can also be something that maybe needs to be worked on a little bit because you matter, right? You as a man, you matter
You
to
matter.
your children, you matter to your wife, you matter to whoever family or friends you have. So don't forget to take care of yourself also. Like, not telling you put yourself before your kids, but at the same time, it's like, don't forget that you exist, right?
Yes, right. That's a great point. That's a great point because that happens a lot. You know, like we we could forget, right? And I want to be present with my daughter until God can give me life, right? And then I want to be through her wedding and all this other stuff. But that's why we go back to the point where I need to get it in better health, you know, and so that I can last that long. But especially that, you know, like if you overwork, your body is gonna resent you.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
gonna feel it, and you wanna be there for your kids. And again, you know, be happy and embrace it, and just find somebody to talk to if you need to, or therapist or whatever if you need help, professional help. And but other than that, I think being yourself and loving yourself the way you are and the way you look, it, it's gonna bring you happiness at one point.
Yeah, and on that topic of like therapy, for example, I feel like that stigma is getting better. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, I don't need to talk to somebody. Like,
that's right.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
Like, everybody could talk to somebody, and it doesn't have to be a paid therapist either. It could be
yeah,
like a good friend, right? That you could actually be honest with and not BS. Like, not try to sound a certain way. Just say what's in your mind, right? That
hmm
goes a long way. So definitely, some things are different, some things are the same, but for that same reason, you could choose. Now you could choose, like, if you want to do things differently or if you want to do them the same. Obviously, it's up to you, but yeah, always just know that you can change things if you want to change things, and that you, like what Rafa was saying, is like, appreciate what you have. It's okay to want to be better, but like, you're
yeah,
okay. You're okay.
yeah.
Like,
You find the
nobody.
way you are, and let's be good with each other, right? Like
Yeah,
let's just try to be a really good human being. You know, like independent of whatever you have, whatever you don't have.
yeah,
Be nice to people. You know, it doesn't really hurt.
yeah.
You know,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
But yeah, Rafa. So I'm sorry the camera died. We had a lot of other stuff that we talked about. I'm trying to
yeah.
think. I don't remember where else we dropped off. But
That's
either
all right.
way, look, we can do this as many times as we want. And
Yes,
we're not trying to do a man's only thing. We don't really care about that. We love to have ladies here and be part of this and talk about,
of
oh, what do you
course,
think about this topic, or whatever. But it's
of
just
course.
nice to always, remind people who don't remember, like, you're good. You're okay.
Yeah,
Right?
and let us know if you guys would like us to continue doing this type of things. More than welcome to.
The
You
Dude
know.
Show. All right, guys. So
All
we'll leave
right.
it there. Thank you, Rafa, for being here.
Yeah.
I'll
No.
put Rafa's social media below, and I'll put Explorando Conejos, Monica, for the few people who don't already know her. They do content for traveling with families, and actually they're doing marketing as well. They could help your business actually in a legitimate way.
Yes.
So I'm really excited for you guys for what's to come. I mean, you're already pretty
Thank
big,
you.
but it's going places. I've always told Monica.
No, yeah, like we try and again we try to help, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's try to see somebody do good, you know,
Yeah.
with their business or in their life.
Yeah, and they're genuine, so they genuinely try to help people. And, like, if there's anything they could do, I know for a fact that they'll do it. So thank you for joining us.
No,
Until
thank you,
next time.
Cesar. Yeah. All
Bye,
right, guys.
Shoto.
Bye, buddy.
Say bye. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.